Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Wow, I still sound really congested. So anyways, I'm also very proud of my hair. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I put green in. I know. I'm so excited. But anyways, so I apologize. I actually feel better than I sound, but oof and oof. This last week has been an adventure. I haven't been this sick in a long time. And I tell you, every time I breathe, sometimes it sounds like I got like a circle of hell going on in my throat. But all the wheezing, it does. It sounds like a bunch of demons trying to crawl out of my chest. But so I apologize in advance for the coughing. But like I said, I'm feeling a little better. I'm probably at about 75%. Ooh, muddy. Thank you. Look, I put green in. I know it's kind of hard to tell because, I don't know what it is with the light, but I know. And I wanted bangs. So, I have to say, for doing DIYing my own hair, I'm actually kind of proud of myself because I've been following, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but Brad Mondo on YouTube. And it's kind of like start short. Don't start at the top, just start at the bottom. And if you want to keep going, go. But I always forget too that I have curly hair. So I have to kind of straighten it to see where it goes. So, when it's curly, just pull it back or let it go or, just let my little baby snakes now be free. But, thank you. As much as I would love to talk about the human body and the amazing things that it does to heal itself, I am both not knowledgeable enough to do so, and secondly, not mature enough to do so when we talk about certain parts of the human body. See? Can't even keep a straight face. So, we're going to do, oracles today, because that's about the brain capacity I have. This is the next couple of days, maybe me needing a little help from, other places to do these things, like reading from a book. So I'm not sure how much my brain is braining, but I'm so sorry. Just get used to that, okay? I did take my Mucinex, so hopefully that will start helping, but it's weird because when I talk to my dad or I talk to older sibling, I don't hear the congestion. But now that I'm talking to all of you, it's kind of like, oh my God, I sound like I have a cold. So yeah, I basically told everybody on Saturday, if you need me, I'll be in my room dying. So yes, I am not dramatic. I am theatrical. Remember that. So, speaking of coffee, I just want to, I know it's kind of a thing that Starbucks does. If you drop a drink or whatever and you keep the label, they'll remake it for you, which I think is very sweet. But I was ready to pay for mine because I accidentally, it wasn't like I was trying to carry a bunch of things. I literally I should not have been out on Saturday, but I really wanted coffee, which I ended up not drinking until the next day. I overdid it. And, I not only spilled it, guys, I spilled it right in the store, the whole drink, and it was a Trenta. So it was 30 ounces of my drink just sitting around the bar area, so nobody could really reach anything. Oh, I felt so dumb. But they were so nice. And the kid, I think he might be the same hockey kid, but I can't remember. It's fuzzy, right? Because hockey season started back in September or October. But yeah, they were so nice. So to the Campo Avocado Starbucks, thank you. The girl was so sweet. I think she could tell I wasn't feeling well. She's like, well, if you have the label, I'll remake. She's like, do you want me to remake your drink for you? And I'm like, I'll pay for it. She's like, no. So they resurrected, since it was Easter this weekend, they resurrected my drink on Saturday. And I appreciate that very, very much. So kudos to you guys. And, kudos to Starbucks for making that a thing, that if you lose your drink, I know there's a lot of controversy over Starbucks and whatnot. And every company is always going to have some kind of controversy. But I have to admit, it's been my haven since I've been away from my actual home. So when I just need to get out and do something and I don't really know where to go and I want to write or do whatever it is that I do. So let's get into, stop wasting time. Oracle guidelines. Do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. Number 2, do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it and put it together. And number 4, angels, God, heaven, etc. might come up. Feel free to insert your higher power or the universe. This will help the flow of the reading without stopping to clarify. So in case you're wondering why I write down my oracle guidelines, because as you can see, I've been basically riffing for the last 6 minutes. And I do have a tendency to stray off topic, as all of you know. A little bit of something, whole lot of everything, right? I literally live up to that. So, oh, and if I have to blow my nose during this, I'm really, really sorry, because, you know, I'm too old to care what people think at this point. I really think I should have been this way 30 years ago, you know, when I was in my early 20s. This is life, kids. You know, you get a cold, you get a cold. And again, like I said, you're like, why the hell is she doing her show? Because I feel like it, because I needed to feel human again. But first and foremost, good morning, Muddy and older sibling. And thank you. I know a lot of people watch the show after, as an afterthought, because I mean, I do kind of start it during the work day and during other people's work days. And I have had a lot of feedback from other people and a lot of people that just kind of watch it or they watch it as they come across it. And I thank you for that. But these two, and sometimes my cousin Jeannie, who's going through a whole family thing of her own right now with my uncle who's not doing well, they always try, these two are always on. And if they can't be on, they tell me, you know, or whatever. And I appreciate it because I know for Sammy, it's kind of like right in the middle of, well, it's brunch time basically where she's at. And an older sibling, I know sometimes she can't sleep at night. So the fact that you two make time to really come on and view this when it's live, I really, really appreciate it. And I do appreciate it from all of you who do watch this, whether it's live and you pop in occasionally. It's not anything about that. I was thinking about this last night and I thought, you know, I don't give them enough thanks for really kind of just being there to kind of drive the conversation when we're having it. And that's the part I like about the lives. I like the chats, you know, I like the feedback. I like people, you know, just chiming in and talking. So thank you. And thank you to all of you who do watch this at a later time. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. I know I'm just a tiny little show but it's something that brings me joy. And that's why I enjoy doing it. And I think even if nobody watched, I would still do it because there's just sometimes there's so much in me and I can't always write it down, but there's so much other stuff like reality stuff that's always in me that I just need to put out there. But today we're just going to do oracles. So I know kind of different for a Monday, but hey, this is the first full week of April. So we're going to start April off with a bang. Or start the rest of April off with a bang. I don't know, whatever. So anyways, yeah, so thank you. I appreciate you both very, very much. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch this show, whether I know you or not. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. And I hope I get to meet some of you someday, you know, because that would be awesome. Oh, I know, only one card. Wait, did I shuffle 2 times? I only shuffled 2 times. Any more cards? Oh, that's funny. When I picked up this deck, I had a feeling it was only going to be 1 card today. And ta-da! The Elusive Priestess. I love how vibrant and beautiful these cards are. You know, this is the New Orleans deck, and they're just so, you know, they're very, I don't want to throw it out there and say they're culture-based, but they are culture-based. You know, and it's beautiful. The colors and the symbolism and just, I don't know, when I look at these, it's like, it's art. I mean, it really is art. A lot of these oracle decks and tarot decks that people come out, I've never been good at reading tarot. I don't know why. My brain does not brain when it comes to 72 or 78 cards. I have a bunch of tarot decks, but I struggle with them. But oracles come a lot more naturally to me. But yeah, everybody that puts these together, they're just works of art that are so beautiful. So, not everything is going to be hanging in a museum or on an art gallery wall. Sometimes they do things like this. Somebody should make like an oracle deck out of Peter Max paintings. I should call him. Hey, can we collaborate? That would be like the awesomest thing ever. And of course, Sammy or Muddy, an older sibling, will be right there going, we'd like to be on the meeting, okay, to make sure it goes well. So anyways, the elusive priestess. The elusive priestess is the embodiment of the obvious not being so obvious. She's an entity that you know but may not have proof of, and the words that would allow you to make a clear-cut decision if only they were spoken aloud. The situation that you were thinking of has much learning potential for you. However, your focus has been placed on details that will not help you gain the forward movement you desire. What is your goal, and how can you work towards that goal within your own power? There are some immovable energies at work, and you will likely grow tired and irritable if you continue focusing your efforts in this current way. It is time to be flexible and acknowledge that there are additional ways to accomplish your goal, even if they are not what you consider to be the preferred way. The good news is that you have everything that you need to move forward if you're willing to let go of how you believe things should be. Oh, thank you, Sammy. Sammy likes this deck too. I know it's a beautiful deck. But, so if somebody sees this later and this is very specific to you, then you'll know what to do. You got to expand your horizons. Maybe there are people out there who are trying to tell you, hey, let me help you with this, or maybe you should try this. And you're like, no, I'm going to do it my way or the highway. Okay. And teamwork makes the dream work. All right. I know we don't always want to think that, because we don't want to, maybe you have this great idea and you've got it 90% of the way. And then you're like, well, I don't want anyone to help me because I don't want to give anyone credit. Give them credit anyways. All right. Because if they're a good person, they're just going to say, hey, I helped push you over the finish line. You did all the work. All right. But it's not about that. It's about bringing your dream to fruition. And sometimes we need help with that. So if someone's giving you ideas and you're sitting there going, no, 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 this is my way, let go of control. Go with the flow. Because it is clear that somebody is coming in to help you because you need help. Someone is sitting here saying, look, I've been watching you toil and struggle by the side of the road forever. All right. And you just need a little bit of help. Okay. You just need a little bit of help. And I think I have an idea that might help. I mean, what can it hurt you? Right. And I get that, because I'm not good at accepting help. I'm getting better at it. I have to say, on Saturday, I really wasn't feeling well. I didn't want to make anything to eat, but my dad's like, you need to eat something. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I was feeling a little bit better and I needed a change of scenery. So I came out in the evening and I was just kind of sitting there and kind of slumped in my chair. And even though it was something very basic like Pop-Tarts, he made my Pop-Tarts. And I was so grateful, because I didn't have the strength to stand there. Basically how I sound now is how I felt then, which is ironic because I feel a lot better now, but I sound like hell. So, and when I wheeze, like I said, when I breathe and I'm laying down, it sounds like the circle of hell is trying to escape my chest. But all the wheezing, or ghosts, like I have a haunted house in my chest. I don't know. But anyways, it's okay to ask for help. And this card is telling you, look, if you have ideas, even if it's your own idea and you're like, no, 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 that won't work. Or no, 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 that seems too simple. Maybe it's that way for a reason, because sometimes the easiest fix, or the biggest fix, is the easiest thing, right? It's not always going to be super hard. I think when we work on something so diligently and so passionately, we think that it should be harder. But you don't need to make things harder on yourself. Okay, we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, right? Don't worry about the whole paying your dues thing. All right, just do what you do. I know, poor older sibling. She's got pneumonia and a sinus infection. I only had a sinus infection and I lived. But she got the double whammy. So, it's kind of like it's like her chest and her head are fighting over her. But at least someone's fighting over you. I don't know. Just sounded good. But anyway, I have to admit, this feels like my cute voice. Like, this feels like my cute voice. But it's so dumb. I'm so dense when I get sick. I am. I like just lay in a fetal position for like 24 hours and just let me die. And then all of a sudden, like, ooh, the comeback. But anyways, I'm sorry. See, this is how it's going to be. That's why I said in the subject thing, let's roll the dice and see what happens. But no, seriously. This can also go to manifestation. Okay, if you are, what? She's all, gee, thanks. What? I know. Anyway, I deserve that. When it comes to manifesting, praying, setting an intention, setting a desire, okay, this is another thing that can be elusive to people, because we always think that there's a certain way. Right? For people that pray, well, maybe you have an unexpected bill and you don't know how to deal with it, but you are a person that goes to church, you're very devout, whatever, not whatever, but so on and so forth. And you go and they're like, well, I can't pray to God for money. Who said you could not pray to God for money? Church? Pastor? I mean, there's nobody in my entire career as a Catholic that ever told me I couldn't ask for money except my mother. I never heard a priest say it. I never heard a nun say it. They say, ask God for what you need. Okay. But my mom could be a tough nut sometimes. I love her, but she could be a tough nut sometimes. But one time she asked me that, and she said, well, you don't ask God for that. And I'm all, why? But then I was talking to an older sibling and she said the same thing. Well, God can't do that. He's too busy for me. People, if you are religious, okay, and I don't mean one of those psycho Christian nationalists, and yes, I said that. I just mean a person who's devout, who loves the world, who actually follows the principles of Jesus, or if you are not a person of Jesus, maybe you are of another religion, but whoever your higher power is, it's okay to ask. I'm telling you right now, God is omnipresent. That means he's everywhere. Okay, just like the movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's God. Your archangels, they're omnipresent. Archangel Michael can be in 1,000 places at one time. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's a fantasy to some people who are atheists. It's okay. I know. I appreciate and respect your stance too. I'm just saying it's okay to ask. Because here's the thing. Above and foremost is the universe. And the universe, that's just what we call this bundle of energy that kind of suits or kind of fits into everything that we do, right? If you put out the wrong energy, you're going to get the wrong energy back. If you put out the right energy, you're going to get the right energy back. It may not be what you asked for, but it'll be what you need. Okay? And sometimes it could just very well be an answer. But it's okay to put it out there. But when you put it out there, let it go like a balloon, right? Although please, in real life, do not let balloons go. They can harm the ocean life. So no. Or they can take out power lines. That's right, if they're Mylar balloons. So yeah, please no. Okay, just pop them or something. I know it's symbolic sometimes, but especially when you leave the string on them, they get tangled around our precious sea life, and that makes me upset. So don't do it, please. And I learned that. I used to let balloons off too, so I don't even do that anymore. Just, I don't know, do something else. Anyway, but yeah, so when you're manifesting or you're doing all these other things, just, be the elusive priestess. Listen to that inner thing and don't stand in the way. Because it says right here, the good news is that you have everything you need to move forward if you're willing to let go of how you have believed things should be. I apologize. So, excuse me. This is going to be a long show. All right. Oh, so I have this deck, right? And remember my favorite card? My favorite card was the cupcake, right? Remember Cupcake? So I went to the Dollar Tree the other day. I love the Dollar Tree. I know people are just like, what? Who even goes there? I like to go there because they're pens. They have some really cool like glitter pens and whatnot. But I went in for something completely different because I didn't, I was just passing by. I was near Starbucks and I'm like, oh yeah, I need that so I can, whatever, color my hair without getting all because yeah, the last time I colored my hair, I rubbed my poor forehead raw and started vacation out with scabs up there. So I thought I need to do this right. But I did not come out with whatever it was I was looking for, but it came out with these. Because this is why I go there, because they have cute little, I got a cute little gnome. I just go in there when I just, need like stationery stuff, just nothing expensive because, I collect pens, like a crazy woman, and they just have these really cute glitter pens. And I really, really like them, and they've lasted me almost a year, but this one reminds me of Cupcake. And I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I got to get these for my journal. So that's why the Dollar Tree, by the way, is dangerous, because stickers, stickers, thank you, Muddy. It's exactly that. It's like, ooh, stickers. It's like, ooh, a squirrel. But yeah, and then I completely forgot what I went in there for, and I ended up having to go to CVS anyway, so it's just like, okay, fine. But yeah, I got stickers. I got important, and these are important to my journal. These are important to my journaling. So, I don't care how old you are. You could be 95 years old and you were never too old for stickers. All right. I even had some on the boat where I was giving, I forgot I brought them with me, and I had cut a bunch up and I was giving stickers away to the kids on the boat. So, it was fun. They were just like, oh, and it was so cute because there was this one, I think sibling was with me. There was this one little boy and his little sister, and they were watching something going on down in the promenade deck or the piazza. And it was so cute because I'm all, would you like, I looked at the mom and I said, would they like stickers? And I said, I just have all these random stickers for my journal that, I'm probably not going to use. And she's all, sure. And, so I looked at the little boy, and I looked at the girl, but she hid behind her mom. And then it was funny because then I gave her brother one, and all of a sudden she's like peeking out from behind the mom's leg. And I'm like, would you like one too? They had kitty cats on them. Who doesn't love cats? So anyways, yeah, see, Sammy says it. I agree. Never too old for stickers. You were never too old for stickers. All right. So even the cards agree. All right. We got 3. Oh, need something saying shuffle one more time, just in case. Nothing. All right. Well, did you see that? Those 3 just flew right out. I think I'll start from the top to the bottom. So we're going to go from the last to the, oh, wow. There are 4. No wonder. Hey, you've got the power. I've got the power. So random today. Use your abilities to resolve this situation. You can do it. You can do it. That's right. You can do it. You can do it. You've got the power. And see, she's like literally balancing, this little cute little fairy balancing on a spider web. Yeah, just don't get eaten by the spider. But I know. They do create beautiful webs though. I will give them that. So this feels very much like the last card we just had. It's in you. You just, gotta let it come out of you. Does that make sense? You gotta listen to that inner voice inside of you. Because just like with the last card, the elusive priestess, if you don't listen to your inner voice and you keep trying to do things the hard way, they're just going to keep being the hard way. And you can keep going the hard way, or you can just say, okay, what if I listened to myself and did this? And it's the same thing I said with manifesting, which I'm not really sure I finished that thought. But here's the thing. No matter what you think is the right way, if you're trying to do it because you're trying to be a martyr in your manifestation, even if it's unintentionally, stop it. Seriously. You hear that? That was my growl. Stop it. Because it doesn't have to be that hard. I think we make it harder because we feel guilty for asking, right? We feel guilty for asking the universe, God, whoever your higher power is, for something that we might need. You know, even if we're in a situation of our own doing, our own doing, or if we're in a situation that is not our own doing, it's okay to ask for help. And if you do have a higher power, it's okay to ask them for help, no matter what you need across the board. Do not ask for anything bad. Okay. Do not ask for death. All right. That is not okay. But I mean, you know, just if you need that money, if you need that, you know, help, or if you need something, just ask. And this is telling you, it's just reiterating and basically validating this last card. You've got the power. You've just got to get out of your own damn way. And yes, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to myself when I say that too. But seriously, you got to get out of your own damn way. If you don't get out of your own damn way, you are going to be stuck in a cycle of constantly just getting a little bit and then feeling like, ooh, and then how come there's not more? Because, you know, you show your gratitude. Don't forget, when you get what you've received, you say your gratitude. And remember, if you're manifesting, always say this or something better, or this or what is meant for me. Because, you know, you might say, oh, ooh, I want that, but that may not be for you. That may be for somebody else. So you never know. All right. But when you ask for this or something better, or this or what is meant for me, you're going to get what is meant for you. And that includes if you need financial assistance, or you need abundance, or you need love in your life, or, you know, you need, I don't mean to say that so cynically. I'm sorry. That just kind of flew out of my mouth. I don't know, feeling a bit cynical about love this weekend, but, you know, just what, okay, someone got me back for that one. Whatever it is that you need. I'm so sorry. Oh, God. You know, I have talked a lot this weekend, and for some reason on this show, I'm coughing. I talked to older sibling the other day for a little bit. I even talked to my friend for a little bit, and I did not cough this much. So, you know, see, something's trying to keep it down, but it's not going to happen. I got you. I got your back. And you've got the power. All right. So let's read what it has to say. Just believe in yourself, you know, and don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed either to ask for what you need. Because, you know, I used to feel that way, and I'm getting tired of feeling ashamed for it. Oh, see, look, I even put in my notes. Trust your instincts when reading and listen to your heart to tell you the truth. There you go. See? Listen to your heart to tell you the truth. I wrote it in pink. I know it was me. But seriously, I'm saying this because I know people. Who are afraid to ask for things because they don't think, I don't think it's because they don't think they're worthy. I just think they think it's because there are more needy people out there. There's always going to be someone that needs more than we do, you know, or that needs something that we have, or, you know, I know that's not the right way to put it. I apologize. I'm going to roll that one back. There's always going to be somebody out there who is less fortunate than we are. And if we can improve our lives, we can help these people. You know, just like there's probably somebody who's a little better off than we are who helps us. It's just this nice little flow, right? Of, you know, pay it forward. And it's a beautiful thing. And when we can, we do. And when we can't, we try. So, but, you know, it's okay to want things for ourselves. It's not being selfish. You know, we are human. We need things. And whatever it is across the board that you need in your life to make your life a little bit easier, it is okay to ask for. We're just conditioned to be less, to do without. And we shouldn't have to be that way. We should never have been taught that way. We should have been told that, you know, we are abundant, prosperous, amazing creatures. Not make yourself small so someone feels bigger. I was thinking about that the other day when I was thinking about my 8th grade graduation. My dad randomly brought it up. And And I was thinking, yeah, I remember being asked to be made smaller so that someone could feel better about themselves. Because I mean, it was only a class of 11 kids, but I was the valedictorian and I was the better instrument player and this, that, and the other. And it wasn't to be mean. It was just something that was a reality. But I said, okay. And I didn't care at the time. But then I thought, I mean, it didn't bother me to do it anyway. It really didn't. But then I thought, that's just one instance in anybody's life. How many other times have we been asked to make ourselves smaller to make someone else feel bigger because they didn't want to put in the effort, but we did? And I had a lot of struggles growing up. I had depression, and I didn't know what it was at the time because we didn't talk about that. It was the no-no back in the 80s and the 90s, right? I mean, I'll give this to the millennials, all right? I want to say this. They really kind of said, you know what, screw you guys, okay, Gen X, because, you guys just shove down your feelings, and then when you cry, you feel bad about it, and that's a generation before us too. Or only weaklings cry or something stupid like that. No, we have tear ducts for a reason, not just to wash out our eyeballs, but because that's where our tears come from. We have emotions for a reason, so use them. Okay, and I don't know, maybe it's the younger Gen Xers who, I'm kind of in the middle, to be honest with you. I'm kind of in the middle of the Gen X, but, who were just said, hey, or maybe it's the Gen X parents who taught their kids, look, you're allowed to have feelings. I don't want you to hide your feelings like I had to hide my feelings. And it's just, and then when you come in touch with your feelings, when you're older and you're on your healing journey, you kind of feel like, oh my God, what is happening to me? It's like the earth just stopped. So just do what you do, feel how you feel, be you. All right. So use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. You drew this card as a reminder that you're more powerful than you realize. Perhaps you've been feeling victimized lately. Well, the fairies want you to know that regardless of your age, size, or education, you've got incredible personal power. Even though the fairies are tiny beings, they channel the force of God and the universe, and you can also use it to resolve an issue, heal yourself or another, or manifest your material needs. See? All you have to do is believe. I'm sure me coming at you like, I told you so, doesn't help. So again, heal yourself or another, or manifest your material needs. All you have to do is believe. Believe it or not, guys, it's that simple. And I say this coming from a place where I have problems trusting and believing. So I'm saying, Shelly Marie, just believe. All right. Oh yeah, I'm on fire right now, so my window's open, so I apologize for any background noise you're going to get. This is what happens when you make fun of your older sibling calling her a walrus cough. When I said I adopted a seal or a walrus, and then I got it. So that was the whammy, and I deserved it. So anyways, additional meanings for this card. Let go of blame and focus upon solutions. Conduct energy healing work, especially through your hands. I can help you even from a distance if you need be. So you just reach out to me and I will help you. Okay. Engage in strength training exercises such as weightlifting. I cannot help you there, but I can guide you. Baby siblings Boo is certifying to become a personal trainer, and she is very good, and they're very good at putting things together. So if you need help, you can go to them. Follow your inner guidance to resolve a situation. That's all you. That is all you inside here. And become an activist for an issue that's near and dear to your heart. Speak your truth to yourself and others. Ta-da! Because you've got the power. Oh, I have to tell you, that song kept coming on the ship, and it was so funny because it's older sibling's ringtone, and all you see her just looking around in her pockets for her phone, and then she realizes, oh, it's the speaker. It's so cute. So anyways, you've got the power. So like I said, one word. It is just one word. Believe. Believe. Okay? Believe. Yeah, it's like some kind of magic show. Believe. Express your individuality. Allow your true self to shine because you're awesome. That's right. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck because that is exactly what I do. When I was on my trip, I wore a halter dress with a pair of Doc Martens. And in the past, I might have been like, not really sure I want to do that. But I thought it was cute. I liked it, but I actually didn't wear it because I thought it was cute. I wore it because I needed it to be functional. We were on the island of Kauai. I didn't know how much climbing or walking we were going to be doing, and tennis shoes were just not going to cut it. Neither were my slippers, flip-flops, to non-Hawaiian people, non-island people. But yeah, I was just kind of like, yeah, no, I need to be comfortable all day. Oh, that's right. It was going to make you sweat. Whatever. Same band, right? I think it's the same band. Either way, I don't know. Same band. They all... Sorry, sibling. Either way, it was funny. But anyways, express your individuality. So yeah, and the reason I'm sharing that is because I needed it. I really needed it to be functional that day. In my mind, it looked cute. I don't care if anybody else thought it was cute or not. It didn't matter to me because I was expressing my individuality. I could have altered my outfit, to match the Doc Martens, but I thought, no, all right, I want to wear this dress today. I'm going to wear these shoes today, and I'll be damned if I wasn't comfortable all day. I love my Doc Martens. They are, I get made fun. I don't get made fun of from the outer world. I get made fun of from the inner world going, oh, are you wearing your combat boots today? But yeah, I'm like, hey, they're comfortable. They're comfortable. But the funny thing is once you sit there and you don't let them make fun of you, they're kind of like, well, whatever makes you happy. So it's kind of like, yeah, it does make me happy. And it just happened to me that it looked super cute. So, but yeah, we did there was not so much terrain as there was, it's just uneven, and these are stabilizing shoes. So they did a lot. Well, no, I also fell in my Doc Martens the day before, but, I digress. But, sibling is feisty today. You got the power is snap. Gonna make you sweat is the CNC Music Factory. But it's like, not no comma, no exclamation, like, oh, excuse me, Miss Music Dictionary. I forgot. I got the music encyclopedias on in the morning. So, the two of them together. But anyways, fine. I apologize and I take it back. My apologies to Snap and the CNC Music Factory. Anyway, dang, she's feisty when she's sick. I'm not sure how to take that, whether she's being mean or not. But anyway, or I'm just being sensitive. I'm probably being sensitive. But that's okay. Express your individuality. You drew this card because you worry about social acceptance. Oh, this is perfect. The fairies want to celebrate your uniqueness since to them you're delightful and perfect just as you are right now. The fairies love your creativity and they urge you to just be yourself. Don't squelch your true self in order to gain others' approval. Pretending doesn't work anyway and you can't please everyone. Instead, enjoy being authentic and trust that like-minded people will be attracted to you. I kind of just said this before, right? Don't make yourself small to make other people feel big. Okay? Do not make yourself feel small to make other people feel big. She says, no, not being mean, just informative. Okay, infomercial. I know, texts are so hard to read because you really don't know the inflection that's coming through. But I know she wouldn't mean it in malice. I was just giving her a hard time because I can. Because she's older sibling. So there. Anyway, let's not get away from the meaning of this card because I think a lot of us do this. I always dressed differently in high school. I'm not sure at the time if I did it because I wanted to set myself apart or it's just how I felt or the fact that I just love to wear black. And I wore a lot of black. Sometimes I would wear black with like bright nylons, and my flats. And it was just, I don't know. At the time, people would say, oh, you're just trying to get attention or you're trying, and when I think back on it, I think, no, I just liked it. Just kind of like the halter dress with the Doc Martens. I just liked it. I liked expressing myself. I liked, I just wore what made me happy. You know, I wore what brought me joy. I wore what made me feel good in my own skin. It just happened to a lot of it be black. But, and it's just like older sibling, right? And I'm guilty of this. She likes to wear animal print. Now she's moved on to kitty cat shirts. And at first I'm just like, oh my God, you're wearing that? And it's like, why should I care what the hell she's wearing? But I was thinking, wait, I have to be seen with her. And it's like, that was more of a reflection of my insecurity than anything else. Because when I started healing and I started doing all this stuff to make, you know, my personal self-love better, I started seeing her shirts and going, oh my God, those are so cute. And thinking, you know what? I am so proud of her for just following her own whim, even though she gives me a hard time for wearing Doc Martens with dresses. By the way, she's the one. Yes. That was kind of a backhanded compliment, wasn't it? Like, oh yeah, you're so great at this, but thanks for judging my choices of shoes. But no, seriously. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually glad she did. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this happened back in 2015. I had this really pretty, you know I've talked about this story before, but at this really pretty spring dress. It's like a white background with like purple, black, and blue and pinkish leaves on it. And I thought, crap, we're going to be doing a lot of walking today. So no slippers, no flats. I got to wear something comfortable. So I threw on my Doc Martens, and I'd always wanted to do that because I love my Doc Martens. I've always wanted to do that, but I never really had the courage to do so. And then that day I thought, no, we're going to be doing a lot of walking. I need this to be functional. And so I put it on, and I asked sibling what he thinks. She's all, well, it wouldn't be my first choice. And I'm like, perfect, I'm keeping them on. But if she hadn't said that, I might have changed. You know, if she said, oh no, it's super cute. I mean, I probably wouldn't have changed if she said it was super cute, but I think it just reinforced in me that, you know what? Because she's all, well, it's not she didn't say no. She said, it's not my first choice, but if it makes you happy. And it was that right there. If it makes you happy. She didn't care for it, but she didn't care if I wore it because it made me happy. And for all the times that I made you change, I'm very sorry. I am a much different person now. I've healed my insecurities, well, for the most part. But yeah, you know, wear what you please. Wear what you please. But yeah, I love her kitty cat shirts. But then that kind of gave me the courage to just be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it really started me on that path of not worrying about social acceptance. The people who are meant to be in your life will be in your life. The people who are not meant to be in your life may come and go. And, you know, I mean, literally may come and go. But the people who, you know, even if they tease you about what you wear, don't really care. They don't. They just be like, oh, that. It's like, no. But, you know, but then all of a sudden it becomes your personality. You know, we were at Comic-Con and we were going through a signature line, and that a friend had given me her pass to go in, and it was super exciting. And the person behind the table who was signing something for siblings, she's like, I love your shirt. And it was a kitty cat shirt. So I'm just like, and she just looked at me, older sibling just looked at me like, she likes my shirt. And I'm like, fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, and you know, to my friend who gave me that, because I was like, you know, we didn't get chosen, which is fine. It's Comic-Con, you know, it's there. You get to be a nerd and be someone completely different for the day. And I'm not normally an autograph person. I'm too shy to be around people sometimes. I don't think I'm that way anymore, but back then I was just kind of like, and so I was able to talk my way into, I was able to let sibling talk her way into letting me, you know, not be alone. But yeah, but it's funny how you just, you know, your personality comes out, you just start talking to people. But you know, and it's just express your individuality. Because remember, those people behind the other side of the table, or behind the other side of the table, the people on the other side of the table, they're just as human as you are. Their jobs are just different and a little more public than ours might be. All right. So be respectful of them and be kind. All right. And And to the people who do show up for behind the table, thank you. Thank you for giving of your time, because I don't think, I know some people will be thankful. Other people think that it's their right that you should be on the other side of the table. But from me, I thank you. I thank you for all those people out there, who go to these comic conventions and who do the photo ops and who do the signature thingies. I think it's very, very nice of them to give of their time, because a lot of people don't have to do that, and a lot of people don't. So, I've only been to one, and older sibling brought me there because she really wanted me to meet Dick Van Dyke. And I have to tell you, hands down, that will be a day I remember for the rest of my life, because I love Dick Van Dyke. I loved him on the Dick Van Dyke Show in reruns. I loved him in Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is one of my favorite movies. But so it was, it was a day I will not forget, and one of my favorite days. So thank you, older sibling, for that. But anyways, we're back to express your individuality. So don't let anybody talk you out of who you are. Okay, don't let anybody fit you into a smaller place because that's where they think you believe. If you want to shine, shine. Shine like a star. Shine like the star that you are. All right? It says right here, allow yourself to shine because you are awesome. You are awesome. Nobody else has to think you're awesome, but you have to think you're awesome. Okay? That's the most important part. What matters is what you think of yourself. And having a good, healthy self-dose of self-love is not a bad thing. All right, so I think we're only going to have time for 2 decks today. Oh, Sammy. I know. Who doesn't love Dick Van Dyke, right? Oh, here we go. We're just going to make this a quick one. Practice, practice, practice. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. That is basically validating the last several cards. Keep practicing it. Don't shrink yourself for anybody. All right, but yeah, Dick Van Dyke is amazing. It's still going. Still going. Did he turn 100 yet? I know he's close. I can't look it. Well, maybe I can look it up. I know he's close. I mean, I'm telling you, if he's not there yet, he's close. We got to keep these people in a bubble. Him and Mel Brooks. All right, him and Mel Brooks. We gotta keep them safe. And there's somebody else. There's some other people out there who are closing in on 100, but yeah, we we got to put these people in a bubble because they're some of our comic geniuses of our time. And that are just they're timeless. They are just absolutely timeless. And a lot of their I don't think Blazing Saddles would hold up today, but it's still freaking hilarious. And it's just so tongue in cheek. And I think he does it to just show how stupid people can act. And to just kind of poke fun at it while also making a very big message. And Mel Brooks is good at that. He's good at making a point while also making it funny. So, let's see. Dick Van Dyke was born. Oh, yeah. He just turned 100 in December. Well, good for him. Good for him. Yay. Hey, Dick Van Dyke. He's 100. Okay. We still got to protect him, though, okay? Because, we all know what happened with Betty White. And I think that broke the internet that day. Oh, thanks, Sammy. Sammy looked it up, too. He turned 100 on December 13th. Oh, he's Sagittarian. Oh. All right. Admit your true feelings to yourself. I just blew past the practice one because I really want to get at least one unicorn card in. So be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. Okay? Only you know what it is that you truly desire. If you were whiling away in your career thinking, yeah, this is it, but you still feel a little empty, maybe there's something more that you need. Maybe, I don't know. That just flew out of my mouth, so I have no idea who that's for. But look around, see what's missing. Is it just, are you lonely? Are you just not satisfied? Or, because you may feel like, yeah, I'm at the pinnacle of my career. And you're just kind of like, Or Are you trying to find more instead of just being happy where you're at, being content? There's nothing wrong with being content if you've hit the pinnacle. Okay? I mean, sure, there might be more that you can do. But if you're successful and you're doing well in what you're doing, you don't try to improve on it. Just keep doing what you're doing, because whatever it is that you're doing, it's working. And just be happy with that. Be happy with what you created. Look back. This is one of those occasions where I will break the golden rule and say, don't look back. You're not going that way. But look back and say, whoa, look how far I've come. Ooh, look at me. I mean, I haven't really done anything significant career-wise in the last 7 years because of COVID and then taking care of people. But in my own personal life, I've hit milestones that I never understood existed. I never understood. I knew they existed, or I understood they existed. I just didn't think they could exist for me. I didn't think I had the capacity. I didn't think I had the strength to do these things. And I did. I literally broke myself and put myself back together. I like Frankenshelley. Okay. So without the scars. Well, I got one, but I didn't do that to myself. But, yeah, I was just born that way. But, well, not with a scar, obviously, what they had to fix inside. But yeah, the funny enough, of all the things I've hated in my life, this is the one thing I've never hated. I've always loved this. This is, sometimes I'll notice when I'm deep in thought and I'm thinking about my life, I don't realize I do this, but I caught myself one time and I was just kind of doing this. And it's almost as if my subconscious was trying to remind me, look, you've been given a second chance. Do something with it. Okay? But I was also 3 years old. So my second chance just felt like life. It wasn't something that impacted me as an older child or as an adult. It was just something, that was just always there and just always a part of my life. So now that I've kind of put that out there, I heard it this time. So anyways, this card indicates that you've been concealing something from yourself. What is it? Your emotions are true and accurate, and they're trying to get your attention. Right now, admit your deepest feelings to yourself. Know that it's safe for you to engage in this self-honesty. Your genuine feelings from the compass that points you in the best direction and guides you to the answers you seek. Trust that any changes you make will come about in harmonious ways. You'll be glad that you admitted your true feelings to yourself. Allow other people to get to know the real you. Retain your integrity by following the path that you know is right for you. Be yourself. Face your fears head on. Okay, so something popped in my head. All right, something popped into my head, and I'm going to share it with you while I do this other deck. Now, I want you to know that a lot of times I just share things about myself because, again, I'm not bragging or anything, or I'm not saying, wow, look how hard my journey is. I'm trying to be relatable, because on my journey, I didn't always feel, sometimes I felt alone. See, look, the Blossom and Cupcake cards, they're the two best ones. But, so this weekend, so I'm going to tell this to you in the way that it popped into my head. Cynical about love, sad about it, a little heartbroken that I'm alone, and then career. Now, a long time ago, because yes, I am a person who does believe in mediums and psychics. The one that sibling and I used to go to in group readings was just, there's no way this man could fake it. I don't care what people say. I have brought cynics with us. I brought people who weren't really sure because they had gone to other people who did turn out to be not good, and I'm not going to say that everybody out there who can talk to the other side is good. Some people will take you for everything and they don't care because they don't have any scruples and they're probably lying about it. These are gifts that people are given. Some are more enhanced than others, and they try to do good things with it, and, he wasn't expensive. He was very well, priced, I guess, however you want to put it, and very accurate. And I remember one time though, he came through and I had never mentioned anything. I even tested him one time because I'm all like, oh yeah. I told my spirit guide that kept trying to come through that I couldn't believe was my spirit guide. I'm like, oh yeah, if you're real, prove it. And nobody heard me say that out loud. I did it all in my head. And when we got there, like I said, I've shared this story before. The first person he looked at was me, and he said, "Do you know who this person is?" And I'm like, "Oh." And even older sibling looked at me and nudged me. She kind of elbowed me because she'd been trying to tell me just because they're famous and they're dead doesn't mean they can't be. It was a famous author, and I was just like, "No." But he's all like, "Do you know who so and so is?" And I'm all, yes. And he just looked me dead in the eyes and he said, they said to stop questioning him and just start believing him. And I felt like I was being scolded. I did. I totally felt like I was being scolded. And I'm all like, wow. Because that had just happened like an hour earlier in my head, really emphatically going, oh yeah, well, prove it. And like a 5-year-old, well, prove it, damn it. But, without the damn it. But yeah, so I kind of got my in your face right there. But circling back to the career part, over the weekend, so my dad and I have been watching the Waltons. No comments from the peanut gallery. All right. It's a very comforting show. It's kind of like, emotional eating without the food. But yeah, it's like a comfort show, and you see this whole big family but you see the love of the parents and the grandparents. And then I see my dad sometimes and I can see he feels kind of sad because, he misses my mom, and even if he's been in a relationship since then, he misses her. And I mean, I'd like him to find a companion. I have nothing against that. And, because I know how much he loved my mom and I know how in love they were. And, I can tell he gets lonely, but I felt bad. But then, they said something and I said, it must be nice to have had that because I never had that. I had relationships in the past and I did shrink myself to make them bigger. And that's my own doing. I can't blame them for that. That was just me trying to be everything for everyone and forgetting about me in the corner, and I put baby in the corner. But then I just looked at my dad and I said, I know you miss mom, but I'm glad you had that. And he's like, yeah, I guess I did. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, because there's a great saying that I think came from Winnie the Pooh, and I can't remember it off the top of my head now, but it's, it's about being so sad, but being so sad because that person was just so much in your life. And I started feeling a little emotional. I held it back because I started coughing. But I thought, you know what? I've just always wondered what that's like. To have that love. And so going from there to the next part, when we were at the mediums, he said, he's just basically saying, well, you're going to meet the person that you're supposed to be with through your writing. And as you all know, I am famously the female version of George McFly. Always afraid to put stuff out there. Always afraid people won't like it. And I think maybe it's just possible that I haven't put anything out there because I am afraid of falling in love. I didn't fare so well the first several times around. And I think being rejected in love when you don't have any self-love is far worse than any kind of to me is worse than any other kind of rejection. Not like like you gave it a go and it didn't work out. Cause that does feel like a rejection, but you're just kind of like, okay, hey, we tried. But I mean, just that whole fear of just, going in there and wondering, is this going to work out? And I overthink it. That is my superpower. I tend to overthink. So that being said, I'm kind of wondering now, and and please feel free to comment if any of you have any thoughts on this. I'm wondering now if that's why both are just kind of tangled in this web of Shelley. the Shelley Marie Web of, keep one thing over here and keep the other thing over here and make sure they don't meet. Because regardless of course, wanting to find, I will never have the same love my parents had, and that's not to say that I won't find a great love. When I say that, I mean, like, that was their thing, just like everybody out there, I was looking up an actress the other day, Bonnie Bartlett, and she's been married to William Daniels. And you know them if you saw them. Two great actors. They've been married for a bazillion years. They're both almost 100 years old. And that's their love, right? But even my dad, every time I talk about falling in love, my dad's all, why would you want to do that now? But over the weekend, he had a moment of clarity and he says, well, you're still young. I'm like, dude, I'm 53. I ain't getting any younger. But he's all, you're still young. He's all, there's still time. He's all, as long as you're alive, there's still time. And I'm just kind of like, did I give him my cold? Does he have a fever? Because he's all like, you're set in your ways. Why would you blah, blah, blah? And I said, when you fall in love, you just learn to compromise. But I have been afraid of love. And as many of you know, I've been eternally single for a very, very long time. And yeah, I know the show's going a little bit long and I apologize, but here's the point I'm making. I shared something very deep and very, personal to me just now. And I did that because if you're struggling with something, no matter what it is, it may not be career, it may not be love, it may be something else. If you are struggling with something, be brave enough to go inside. You don't have to share it and announce it to the world like I just did. Okay, like I said, I sometimes will wear my heart on my sleeve, because I want it to inspire people to find the courage to go in, to find what's holding you back. Is the fear of falling in love holding me back from putting my writing out there? Or is my fear of being rejected in writing holding me back and then keeping me from love? Or are they really not tied together? Maybe it's just a confidence thing that if I put something out there, I'm going to feel on top of the world and suddenly put out all this wonderful energy that might just magnetize someone to me. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't even know if I'm supposed to find somebody in this life. I mean, I've been told I'm supposed to, but some people are just very elusive. Whoever that Prince Charming is out there, just super elusive. My cousin even said she knows who it is, but anyway, the point is, I share this stuff not because I need attention, I need pity. I don't want pity or attention. I'm sharing this because sharing my story, I'm hoping will help other people heal theirs. And if you were someone looking for love, or you're someone who's afraid of rejection like I am, I think it's time we just stop and throw caution to the wind. Like I said last week, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, right? I'm 53 years old. If you were in your 20s, if you were in your teens, if you were whatever it is, don't be me. If you have the healing and you want to do the healing, start it now. Don't be afraid of it. The only way out is through. You can go around it as many times as you want, but you're going to be stuck on that cycle and you're going to keep coming back to the same issue until you learn how to hurdle that problem. And the only way to hurdle it is to run right through it. Okay, I know that made no sense at all, right? I was thinking of hurdles and then I thought run through it. So the only way to get through it is to run through it. And it may be hard. It may be scary. And it may be something that feels completely out of your wheelhouse. But that's how you find out who you are and what you're made of. I had many days where I threw myself onto the bed in the most dramatic fashion ever, with a cat coming in to check on me and older sibling in tow going, are you alive? Or, you're just crying so loud that the whole neighborhood can hear you. But these are things that need to happen. And it may not happen that way for you. You may just blow right through it with like nobody's business because you're ready. I was ready, but I had a lot. And the longer I went, the longer it stored itself up. And I want this show to be something that people can say, you know what? I need to do this. I need to go through this. If you're afraid, seek professional help. Okay. I would not have gotten as far as I did with just my support system. And they're a fabulous support system, but I needed professional help. I needed professional help. And there is nothing shameful about that. Absolutely nothing shameful about that. And I think if we destigmatize that, people will get out there and start doing it. Because you know what? Living the rest of your life without carrying all the baggage that you've collected, and kept a secret for your entire life, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. I've been waking up lately thinking like, wow, the world looks different and it feels different. And I think if we give ourselves that leg up that we deserve, then we're going to make it. We're going to make it. And I don't know what my life has in store for me. I don't. But now that I've put that out there and I've realized it and I've said it out loud, I had to listen this time. And I thought, God, I didn't realize that those two things were really that tied together. And I think I knew, like it was sitting on the surface, but it's almost like I didn't want to look at it, right? And even those cards that says, oh, did you see that click? Did you see that click? But maybe it's just, what did that one card say? Maybe it's just not working out the way you thought it should work out. Okay. I'm hearing it all now, guys. This is why we do this show. So, here's the last card. I know it's a little bit long. Oh, wow. You saw that, right? You saw me just pull this apart. I didn't look. Something told me while I was talking to just pull a card. Rainbow. Feel at peace. But a rainbow is also the sign of a promise. So make a promise to yourself that you're going to find a way to heal yourself. Or, if you don't have anything to heal, but you're afraid of doing things, or maybe you feel less than, or maybe you don't feel big enough, or, maybe you just don't feel accomplished enough. Look at your life and everything you do for the people around you. My dad said something so profound to me the other day when again, we were talking about, being in love and this and that. One of the things he also said to me is he says, and I don't think the way it's going to come out is not the way it was intended, okay? Because I know how it's going to sound, but he says, it amazes me how many people love you. And I'm all, what do you mean? And he's all, you will never be alone. He's all, you have so many people that love you. He's all your friends. He's all, I see their comments on Facebook. Oh, it's going to make me cry. He's all, I see their comments on Facebook and, the way they talk with you and the way you talk with them. And he's all, you will never be alone. He's all, I know what you're saying when it comes to love and stuff, but your people love you. And that kind of hit me sideways because I'd never thought about that. I'd never seen it that way. They're just my people. Even some of the people I haven't met yet that, I've never met them in person, but when you talk to one another, you're so in tune with them as friends, and that they almost feel like family, that you're just telling each other that you love each other, and that's love, and he did say, he's all, I do understand what you're saying, and he's all, you're still young. There's still time. But that was very touching. That was very insightful. And that was something I really needed to hear. I mean, look at the people that come on and watch the show, from the live point. Oh, hi, Stephen. Thank you. Nice hair. I know everybody likes my hair today. Thank you. So anyways, but remember the rainbow card, okay? Just be at peace. Feel at peace. And, and again, if you're religious, God's promise was a rainbow. So take that as you will. I love that. Look at that. And then ignite. All right. So find your peace and then ignite yourself. Shoot yourself off like a rocket. And, but I was very grateful for those insightful words. So anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live, All Lives are Public under Shelley Marie Lucas. Thank you everybody who popped on today. Muddy, Sammy, Stephen. Good morning, Stephen. And I thank you all. And I thank you all for being in my circle and for allowing me to orbit in your circles. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. And Stephen is Sissy Joe's brother. So, I don't know if, we talk about her a lot because we miss her. We all miss her very, very much. But, yeah, and, love you too, Sammy. I know. And Sammy's one of them. Girl, we got to rectify this whole having not met after 25 years. But this is what I mean. You find your tribe and you're just happy. So anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll see you all back here tomorrow and have a wonderful and blessed day.